Brewery travelers, welcome back. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys recognize my wife, Barbara.
Hi, everyone.
We have, it's been 29 days since we posted a show, and I was able to talk Barbara into getting on this side of the camera just to get something out to you guys. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Well, you know, I'm from Texas. My dad lives in a suburb of Houston, and we go visit my dad 3 or 4 times a year. Mm-hmm. So from where we live, we go down to Jacksonville and get on I-10 and stay on I-10 for several thousand miles. It seems
except for when we divert to 12 to avoid New Orleans.
Well, yeah, that's something Louisiana did very well. Anyway, we decided to do a couple things on because we go often enough. We decided that we were going to start filming shows in Houston. But guys, Houston is big enough to swallow Atlanta whole. Okay, it's gigantic. It would make there are hundreds of breweries, and we had to figure out a way to not categorize them, but to organize them. And we decided by doing that to do that by where people might go. Exactly,
geographically.
And so we thought we'd start off around NASA. You guys have all heard of it. It's in a suburb of Houston. A lot of little suburbs right around it.
Big tourist attraction.
Big tourist attraction. And actually, Barbara's shirt is...
This was from a race we ran at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida back in 2019.
Yes.
And it was quite the extensive race. We were on the actual landing strip from the space shuttles. And you had to have an FBI background check in order to get on the bus to go out and be able to run the race. So it was a really big deal to get that. So
I'm sure by now some of y'all have noticed that she has a shirt on and I don't. Well, okay. All right, but in any event,
actually he got one.
I cleared the check. Anyway, we thought it'd be a great tie-in because we started at NASA. We used the museum at NASA as our checkpoint for how far things were. And the other thing we did, I want to just get this in there real quick, is again I-10. We decided to start hitting breweries along I-10 and maybe initiate a series of shows about breweries between here and there, and we hit 2 of them along the way. That's going to be another show, maybe even our next one. That was fun. In any event, let's get back to NASA.
Breweries around the Space Center.
Breweries around the Space Center. First up,
the Houston Space Center.
Yes, we went to the first one we went to was called Saloon Door, and Barbara. Is good.
It was very good, and it's only 3.4 miles from the
museum. That's right. I mean, it's the closest brewery to NASA. If you're there, if you're looking around, if that interests you, there's a good place to go have beer.
Very good place.
And we're walking in. There's a fairly small. First of all, I'm interrupting my own self. This is a high-end area. And a very high-end shopping area, and then Saloon Door, a lot of retail. Saloon Door is the next shopping area, one removed from the high end. It's just nice, and it is very, very nice.
So nice area, yeah.
So we're on the way in, and they have a fairly small outdoor area, and had a beautiful dog. And we sat there and talked to those people, and then we went on in, and we had fun.
Right, and they allowed dogs inside and outside because they didn't serve any food. We had checked ahead of time to make sure that we were going to be okay with our little dog with us. And we were. And I think there's even a picture of me and the little dog. In any event, we went in, and nice size menu, and I started off with a hazy IPA called Doc Hoppaday. And I started off with an absolutely delightful dunkel. It was a vanilla latte dunkel, which is a dark lager, my favorite style by far. And this with the little bit of sweetness and vanilla flavoring was just phenomenal beer.
But we're going to say more about this in just a moment. But to kind of tell you how fun these people are, there was the vanilla latte dunkel, which you enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And the next one was Uncle Dunkel, which didn't have the vanilla latte part, but had the Dunkel part.
Straight dark lager. Yeah.
This is a neat place, guys, and it was a beautiful day, and there were people coming and going, and it was active, and that always makes a brewery fun when you see people having fun.
It was a Sunday afternoon, and they had NFL game on the TV,
Yep.
and people were coming and going. And the people with the dog on the outside, it was a beautiful dog. It was only a puppy, though, 9 months old, but it was
huge,
enormous, enormous. It was a husky pit bull kind of mix, and beautiful dog. Absolutely gorgeous.
It was large. But I got to tell you, we usually on these shows, thanks to Barbara, we show you the menu. But this one, we have an extra menu to show you.
Right.
Tell them about that extra menu.
Well, they called it the blend menu, but they do a lot of blending of two of their beers into a flavoring. And the one we had selected was called the Hopsicle.
Hopsicle.
And it was a cream ale with the same
Doc Hoppaday. The hazy
IPA.
Yep, right.
And that keg kicked
did.
when I was trying to order that.
I think they ran out because I enjoyed it so much.
So we substituted their hazy pale ale for the hazy IPA and made our own blend, but it was delicious. It was a vanilla cream ale.
Yes. I got to tell you, one of the things that struck us, the atmosphere and the how open and engaging and how much fun the people behind the bar were, and they were joking with people. The blend it just kind of shows you that although they're making good beer here, they don't overtake it too seriously. These people are having fun.
And the bartender told me that she often does growlers of these blends too, not just a pint at a time, but sometimes growlers for people to take home.
So we learned a variety of things. A, beer can be even more fun than just having a good one. B, Barbara here is good at blending beer. That was a good one.
They gave me a head start.
They did. In any event, this was a fun place. If you go to NASA, if you're in the Clear Lake, Webster area, stop. It's good.
Yep.
And then that was it for that day.
The next day we went to one in the next suburb over of
Pearland.
Pearland.
And this was, but because it was Monday, a lot of breweries were closed. There are a few that are closer. Pearland is 11 miles from the museum at NASA. I realize that's a little bit far, but it was the closest. Next one open. It was called Backfish. B-A-K Fish, which by the way stood for Brian and Chris. They were college buddies. They started a brewery. I don't know where fish came from, but it's a neat place.
Very large outdoor area, just enormous. You could have a big group there.
Oh yeah, easy, and it's covered.
And large picnic tables, and the outdoor area was covered, protected from the rain. It was raining when we were there.
It was a miserable weather day. It was a fun day, miserable weather day, and and a Monday afternoon about 3 o'clock, crowd wasn't much, and the crowd that was there was quiet. So it was not the same atmosphere. So I don't want to throw these guys under the bus because it seemed like a really cool place, but it was quiet.
Well, they apparently appealed to a lot of locals, and a lot of the locals were still at work. I'm sure it was going to get better, busier at 5:30 in the afternoon, but we had to be back to take his dad to dinner by then, so we were there a little early for the crowd to be there.
We were. Now the beer we had, of course, I started off with a hazy IPA, and it was good, and then you started off with a lager
of some sort. It's just a straight lager, not a dark lager
and
or
then
anything.
I went back and got me what a beer that they called the Imas Luca, which stands for, it's Spanish, for more struggle. And I didn't understand it because this beer was good. It was not a struggle to get down. It was a good Mexican lager. And the place had decent to good beer. It was a rough day because of the weather and the crowd and the timing and all that kind of stuff. But this is worthwhile go. This is a worthwhile brewery to go visit.
Very, very large inside and outside. Dogs were allowed in both because again they didn't serve any food. And it was just very easy place to find us spot to sit, find whatever you wanted in terms of place to sit and be inside, outside, wherever.
Well, these are 2 breweries around NASA. We're going to do more. Probably our next trip will be in March. We're going to add to our I-10 series, and we're going to get the first I-10 show out before long.
Before March, for sure.
Well, guys, if you go there, give these 2 a shot. We had a lot of fun.
More to come.
More to come.
Bye.
Bye-bye.